My first experience with a motorcycle is that my cousin had bought a 1934 Harley. And so we started looking at it, and I figured out how it worked. Got on it and rode it off, come back, and it had a tattletale speedometer on it to tell you what your speed was. And when I come back, I'd gone up to 50 miles an hour on it, you know. And I thought, that's fun, I like that.
Bud Ekins has been collecting motorcycles ever since that first ride, and dozens of his favorite vintage machines fill his North Hollywood shop. His enigmatic career was one of the most diverse and colorful in the history of the motorcycle business. He started as a mechanic, but his real talent was his go for broke and win at all cost racing style. His bravado caught the attention of Hollywood, and that catapulted his career into the wild and woolly life of a stuntman. One of the most famous motorcycle stunts in history was when Ekins doubled for Steve McQueen and jumped a stock 1962 Triumph 65 feet in the classic film The Great Escape. His riding skills, so evident in the movies, were practiced, then honed on the dirt and hard-scrabble racing circuit of the 1950s. With the help of a sponsor, Bud Ekins was one of the first Americans to go overseas to try out his aggressive racing style on the European circuit. He earned enough money to open a motorcycle shop that featured the new, fast, and nimble British Triumphs that were winning races in Europe before anyone in America ever saw one. Racing was still in his blood, and his exploits during Southern California's Big Bear races are legendary.
The Big Bear was 1950 to 59, and I won it one time, and I led it several times. 1,200 riders. I was several times within, say, 8 or 10 miles in the lead of the finish, and slid on ice and fell off the side of a cliff or something, or, you know, or broke a throttle cable or something, you know. But the one time I did win, I had a 20-minute lead over the second place guy. I'm racing against this guy, Bill Postel, and we were way out in the lead, the two of us. I was following him, and he hit a big bump, and he went over the handlebars. His bike flipped end over end. So I stopped, and I says, "You okay?" And he says, "No, don't leave me," because he had a broken collarbone or something, and he had a hold of me. And I went, "I'll send help." And I was gone. As luck would have it, flat tire, a flat front tire. So I'm 12 minutes in the pits. Meanwhile, people are going, vroom, 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 vroom. Guy comes up just before I'm ready to go, and he says, at the end of the crowd, he says, "The course turns right. Everybody else has been going straight because the crowd is standing on the markings." And so I went down there, made a right, like he said, and I started picking up markings. So now I'm coming up over this hill, very slow thing, and dropping into a valley, and there's a guy there with a camera. He says, "What place am I in?" He says, "First." Meanwhile, these 50, 60 riders getting lost, right, going the wrong way. So that's why I'm in there 20 minutes early, because they were all lost. And it was luck that I had the flat tire.
We'll continue our conversation with Bud Ekins and take a closer look at his collection of vintage iron in an upcoming episode of American Thunder. Today, collectors are paying top dollar for vintage bikes. These old Harleys and Indians are very expensive to restore and very difficult to ride on a daily basis. During our excursion to the Power Sports Dealer Expo in Indianapolis, we found a company that recreates a few very interesting